What's going on, everyone? In this video today, we're going to go over how many days a week should you be training and can you get away with training 3 times a week in the sport of powerlifting. So as always, let's get right into the video. Alrighty, everyone, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to the channel again. And if you're new to the channel and you don't know who I am, my name is Venmo Khamesi. I'm a powerlifting coach, athlete, referee, and meet director. So I make videos on this channel to help out those groups of people. Today, we're gonna go over training frequency and more specifically training just 3 times a week. The reason for the 3 times per week is that this was a question that was asked of me over on TikTok. So for those of you who don't know, I am on TikTok. You can check me out over there at Coach Arian K. So over there, I can answer shorter form questions and do quick form checks since the max time allotted for one video is 1 minute. But here over on YouTube, we can go deeper into each topic and break things down really in a longer format. So I figured let's bring that question from TikTok over here to YouTube and let's talk about training frequency. So I think a lot of people out there assume that they have to train 5 times, 6 times, 7 times a week. They have to be doing a ton of exercises, a ton of sets and reps, and that just isn't true, especially in the sport of powerlifting. From my experience, everything that I've read online, talking to other coaches and my results with my lifters, you don't have to do that much. There are plenty of lifters that have gotten strong from just training 4 times a week, and even some lifters that have gotten plenty strong from just training 3 times a week. What you need to be focusing on is the total amount of volume that you're getting in a week, a month, a training cycle. And then also, if you're really trying to focus on technique, if you're a beginner and you have to bring your technique up, is how many times are you training that specific lift, again, in a week, a month, or a training cycle. So training 6 times a week or training a lift 4 times a week is not some magical number that's gonna make you strong. And if you do less than that, you're not gonna get strong. It's playing with all these different variables and how much volume can you fit in a training session and how many times a week can you hit a specific lift for you to get the adaptation that you need and for you to improve the technique that you have to improve for whichever lift you're trying to work on, or all 3. So for me personally, a lot of my lifters train 4 times a week. I give them those other days off because they may have to do cardio if they're trying to lose weight and go down a weight class, but they also have, their job, their family, and other hobbies. So they don't have all their time and all their life to spend in the gym training 6 times a week, plus, cooking all their food, cleaning all their clothes, sending me all the updates, everything like that. They have to have some time for themselves. So a lot of my lifters will train just 4 times a week, and we'll do something like, squat 2 times a week, bench 2 to 4 times a week, and deadlift 2 times a week. And when I talk about these training frequencies, it's not only the competition lift. So anything that's a close variation, like if it's a pause squat, I count that towards the training frequency. If it's a close grip bench press, I count that towards the training frequency. And it doesn't have to just be one exercise in that day. You may actually be doing more than one squat exercise, like you may be doing the competition squat and then the pause squat. But as far as any close variation and doing at least 1 squat exercise per session, then that's when I say we're training 2 times squat, usually 1 higher rep, higher volume, lower intensity, and then 1 day being the higher intensity, lower volume, lower reps. And the same thing goes for deadlift, 2 times frequency. It basically matches that, either doing it on the same day or on a separate day. For bench press, that's where it varies a little bit. It depends on what level the lifter is at, what weight class they are, how many times can they bench press and still be able to recover. So they may be doing 2 times, 3 times, or even 4 times. If they're only training 2 times, that matches that same kind of protocol for the squat and the deadlift. If they're training 3 times the bench press, then usually the first day and the last day match that protocol, where 1 is the higher rep, higher volume, and 1 is the lower rep, lower volume, higher intensity. And that middle day is usually a power day or a speed day or light day, active recovery, whatever you want to call it. But that day is a lighter, easier day in order to recover for that 3rd day. So that middle day, you can look at it as like a moderate intensity, low volume, low reps. That way, the moderate intensity still lets you focus on technique and get a little bit of a stimulus, but the lower volume is going to allow your body to recover in time, like I said, for that final session of the week. And then if you're training 4 times, it may be a mix. So you may have day 1 being that volume day, day 2 being that lighter recovery day, day 3 being your strength day, and then day 4 being another lighter recovery day. Or if you're able to recover fast enough, then that 4th day might be another higher volume day. So you're getting 2 hypertrophy or higher volume days. You're getting 1 strength, higher intensity, lower volume day, and then you're getting 1 day of that power or lighter recovery day. So you have at least some recovery in there to make it through all 4 sessions. Now, if we're bringing this down to 3 times a week, you can condense some of this volume and some of this frequency into those 3 sessions, and then you're basically going to be getting the same adaptation. So you can take a 4 times a week program, condense it down into 3 times a week, and you're gonna get same results. So you can train just 3 times a week for the sport of powerlifting and make the similar amount of progress if that's all that you have time for. The important thing is, what are you capable of consistently doing? Don't go follow a 6 times a week program and then miss 1 or 2 sessions regularly, because then you're missing out on that volume and that frequency from those 1 or 2 sessions that you're consistently missing. But if you go in knowing that you can only train 3 times a week and you combine that stuff into those 3 days you're gonna consistently hit, then you're not missing out on that volume, you're not missing out on that frequency, because you're consistently gonna hit those 3 sessions per week. So in that case of someone that needs to be consistent, someone needs to adhere to the program, you're actually better going on the lower end and picking something that you know you're gonna hit 90 to 95% of the time throughout a year. Don't go pick something that's high frequency that you can only do 50 to 60% at a time, and then the other 40 to 50% of the time you're just missing out on sessions all the time. So when it comes to 3 times a week, if you are someone who is normally doing lower frequency for all 3 lifts, one thing you can just do is focus on 1 lift per day. So you have a squat day, you have a bench press day, and you have a deadlift day. And then from there, you can focus on doing multiple exercises and really getting as much volume as you need to adapt that lift for that week, so that when you come back the following week, you are recovered to then push it again. If you need to be doing higher frequency, then you can start doing the lifts multiple times per week. So for example, say you want to do the squat twice, so you can do it day 1 and day 3. Say you want to do the bench press twice, you can also do that day 1 and day 3. And then say you only want to do the deadlift once, since you're already squatting 2 times, so you can do that deadlift on either day 2 or day 3, wherever it fits based on which days you're doing your volume day, which day you're doing your strength day, which day you're doing your light day. And if you are someone who comes from high frequency and for some time period you have to go down to 3 times a week, you have no option, maybe you're busy at work, something like that, then you can bring all that frequency in and do all 3 lifts every single day. So you'll be doing an SBD day on day 1, day 2, day 3, plus whatever accessory work you need to be doing. So even with the 3 times a week, you have lots of options, you have lots of flexibility to work with, depending on how much frequency you have to do for each of the lifts, how much volume you need to adapt, and then how much time you have in those sessions to be able to fit everything in. And that is the one big thing that I've noticed, is that how much time you have is the bigger factor. So for some of my lifters that had to go down to 3 times a week, oftentimes they were also restricted on how much time per session. So they didn't have 2-3 hours that they could put into each session and do squat, bench press, deadlift, plus a bunch of bodybuilding accessory work. They also had a limit of, let's say, 1 to 1.5 hours per session. So not only were we restricting the frequency that we can train per week, but we were also restricting how much overall time we can spend for each session and in the entire week, when you consider maybe 3 1-hour sessions versus 5 or 6 1-hour sessions, or 4 2-hour sessions. So that's where it becomes difficult, because now you're also limited on time. You may have to cut back on accessory exercises. You may have to focus on the main lifts and just put more volume into the competition lifts. So you may be doing, 5, 6, or even 7 sets of squat, and then maybe same thing for bench press. That is going to be your hour and a half, and then you have to get out of there. That is your only option. So that's where it really becomes difficult. When you have a limit on how many times per week that you can train, and then how much time per session you can train, then that also hinders the amount of frequency and volume you can do in each of those sessions, and that's what's going to hold you back from progressing. But one thing to note is, if you have to do this only for a temporary time period, is that you're able to maintain your strength with much less volume than the amount of volume you need to progress. So say if you need to do 100 reps of bench press in order to progress and get stronger, you don't need 100 reps of bench press to also maintain the strength that you already have. You may only need 50 to 75 reps to maintain the strength you have. So if you're doing this for a temporary time period, then you may have to go down to that 3 times per week and limited time and do less reps. Do the 50 to 70 or somewhere in the middle, 60 reps per week to be able to maintain your strength to get through this time period. And then once you are free again, then you can slowly bump your volume back up and get back to building strength. Remember, it's not all or nothing. It's not like if you can't get stronger, you might as well not go to the gym, okay? Some maintenance periods are gonna be good for you to focus on other things. If you have a job or family or something like that, you just had a kid and you can't go in the gym as often, you can still do the minimum amount you need to maintain your strength to get through that period, and then come back fresh and attack it and get stronger again. Doing something is better than nothing. All right, so make sure you are picking a program that has a number of training days that you can consistently adhere to. Don't pick a program just because on good weeks you can hit all those sessions, but on a lot of bad weeks you're gonna miss out on multiple sessions, because then you're gonna miss out on that volume and frequency. You'd be better off picking a program with less training days per week that you can hit 90% or more of the time. And if you're interested to learn more about powerlifting programming, I have this video up here that you can click on that goes over the key factors for you to get stronger. And I also have this video over here that goes over how you can improve your powerlifting programming using the acute chronic workload ratio. Either of those videos would be a great video for you to watch next if you're looking to develop yourself as a powerlifting coach or an athlete who coaches for yourself. But other than that, hope you guys are having a great start to your week, and I'll see you in that next video.